Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Robin's Nest. Today, we're going to talk about cheating. Okay. Motorsports and cheating, they go hand in hand. It's kind of like peanut butter and jelly. You know, you can make a peanut butter sandwich, or you can make a jelly sandwich, which sounds disgusting. But people do that. But on their own, they can stand on their own, but it's just not right. You know? It's not right. You have to put them together. Okay. Motorsports and cheating is a very, very similar thing. As long as there has been motorsport, there has been rule breakers. There's been cheating. And one of the wealthiest men in the world, one of the wealthiest team owners, is not absolved from any of that. He's just as guilty as anyone else. Now, whether he knew about it or not, when your name's on the check, hey, that's a reflection on you. So let's talk about that. If you enjoy listening to me ramble about motorsports or anything else in particular, well, not in particular, just anything else that comes to mind that I feel like talking about, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, turn on notifications. The works. If you're interested in diecast cars, t-shirts, hats, racing memorabilia of any kind, check out our eBay. Auto parts as well. Check out our eBay page. Link is in the description. We have a 15% sale going on right now, virtually store-wide, so make sure to check that out. Without further ado, let's get into it. So I wanted to get someone's advice. I have a 1993 Chevrolet S10, okay, V6. The truck starts and runs great for about, I don't know, 60 seconds. It's almost as if when it starts to circulate fuel or airflow or something, I'm no mechanic. I'll just be straight with you. I'm not a mechanic, so I'm not entirely sure. The truck is carbureted, no EFI. So after about a minute, it starts to run like garbage. Okay. Now, in that 60-second window, it runs great. But outside of that, it just runs terrible. You can't keep it running. You keep your foot on the gas, it doesn't do anything. It's almost as if it's getting flooded. I'm not entirely sure. So anyone who knows that's watching this knows anything about a carbureted engine, and if those symptoms stand out to you as anything in particular, let me know, because I don't know where to start. Like I said, I'm no mechanic. I could drive the wheels off of anything, literally anything. I'm kind of like Cold Trickle in Days of Thunder, you know, where he and Robert Duvall's character are sitting at the bar, and Robert's telling him, if the car's pushing, if the car's loose, if the car's doing this, the car's doing that, just let me know, and we'll win some races. Well, I can't let you know that. Well, why not? Because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't know what any of that means. Now, I'm not as bad as Cold Trickle. I do know some things about cars. However, when it gets into engines and stuff like that, trying to make them run right when they're sick, no. I don't know. I've made it this far in my adult life doing mechanic work thanks to YouTube. And it really is a helpful tool. Not just with that. I can do carpentry now. Who the hell would have ever thought that? All from YouTube. Which, insane. Roger Penske, for those who don't remember, a few weeks ago, during the build-up to the Indy 500, was caught cheating with two of his Indy cars, and it likely would have been all three had Scott McLaughlin not absolutely destroyed his car in the lead-up to qualifying. They were caught cheating. It was a big scandal because Roger owns the series and he owns the team, and so they were fined money. They were fined, I think they were fined points. I know their qualifying times were scrubbed and they had to start from the back. Okay. And then we made it through the race. Done deal. Fast forward to this week and the build up to Le Mans qualifying, and I'm not sure if this happened before or after qualifying, but it happened nonetheless. One of the Penske Porsches was found to be too light, and which is a performance advantage, full stop. And so they lost. If they had qualified, they lost their qualifying time. If they hadn't, they were just penalized, but they're going to start at the back of the hypercar prototype class. Okay, and my thing is Roger Penske is one of the wealthiest men in the world. I mean, he's a billionaire with a B. Okay. He has some of the best people in the business working for him in all of his ventures. And I'm not just motorsports, any of them. So the fact that this is starting to become a reoccurring theme with Penske is crazy to me. You know, I don't understand. Like, I get the fact that he's got a lot of business ventures, so he can't keep his thumb on everything. But at the end of the day, it is your name on the side of the building. It is your name on the checks. So, like, this stuff with cheating should never be a thing. I understand that teams bend rules. Teams always try to find whatever kind of advantage they can. You look at Cadillac. Cadillac just swept the front row for Le Mans. First time in since the 60s, I think, that Americans have qualified on the pole for Le Mans. Now, Cadillac has been mediocre all season in both WEC and IMSA. Where did that speed come from? They just picked up, like, blistering speed overnight. How? You know, I'm not saying that they're cheating, but you never know. You know, I guess teams can find speed like that overnight. It just doesn't happen very often. So it's kind of crazy to me. And then one of the teams that qualified, I don't remember if they qualified first or second, which team it was, but one of them was a Porsche satellite team. Not a factory team, but a satellite team, or not a full factory team, I should say. I'm sure they got some support. It's a Joda Hertz team. And they switched to Cadillac just in time to qualify up front for Le Mans. So I don't know. Something doesn't sit right with me with that whole scenario. I'm glad that they qualified up front. It's an American team, technically. I'm all for it. I'm an American, so I love seeing it. I mean, it's Le Mans. The Americans just qualified first and second for Le Mans. So we officially conquered France in qualifying anyways. Now, whether it'll say that way for the race, I highly doubt it. They could, though. And the same thing with Ferrari. You know, Ferrari set out, they haven't been a part of the top class in endurance racing in Europe for a while. They come back, and then straight out of the gate, they're the team to beat, at least at Le Mans. I don't know. Stuff like that does happen. It's just, I don't know. I know I keep saying I don't know. I just don't. I don't want to accuse people of cheating, but I also don't want to be naive and think that there's not stuff going on behind the scenes that probably shouldn't be. And Penske just got caught. You know, I'm sorry. That's the way it is. So NASCAR, you know, I've talked about this. It's well documented how I feel about the race in Mexico this weekend. Ryan Truex is getting a shot in Denny Hamlin's car, and this very well could be Ryan's last shot at doing something in the Cup Series. You know, he's been running part-time for Gibbs in the Xfinity Series, and has done really well. He won Dover, what was it, last year, I think? And he's done really well, but still has not been rewarded with a full-time job, driving at least. And he's run Cup races, you know, but it's never really been for a top-shelf team. This is going to be like his best opportunity to make something happen, because Denny is staying in America due to his fiance is expecting to give birth to their child here at any point. So I would love to see Ryan take full advantage of this opportunity and make something happen. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of modern NASCAR, but I am a fan of guys who've been hustling and busting their butt trying to make something happen. and for it to finally pay off, and for them to get a full-time ride with a good team. Would love to see that. If 2311 doesn't go belly up, because of this this lawsuit stuff with NASCAR, it'd be cool to see Ryan go over there. Riley Herbst is terrible. Okay, Riley Herbst, I said this, by the way, since I brought him up. When he was running in Xfinity, okay, he ran for the best teams in Xfinity. Stewart-Haas, Gibbs. Okay, with Gibbs, he never even sniffed a victory lane. With Stewart-Haas, he won, I think, once or twice. Okay. But the thing about the Xfinity series is, over the past few years, the series had become very anemic. It's gotten better. I think the past year or so, it's gotten a lot better. But when Riley was there, and it's the same thing with Chase Briscoe, same thing with Cole Custer. When those guys were there and they were winning races, Riley wasn't winning. He just won the one or two. But nevertheless, it's still, the fact remains, and it applies to Riley, is that you weren't really racing against anybody. There were probably 5 or 6 teams that were capable of winning races, kind of like ARCA. And so you should have been winning almost every weekend. You should have been in that position. I said this with Cole Custer and Chase Briscoe before they got the call up to the Cup Series. I said that they're not going to be that great because or let's just say that they weren't. Chase Briscoe in his era, driving for Stewart-Haas, should have been winning every weekend or running for the wins every weekend. He didn't. Same thing with Cole Custer. Riley, same thing. So since they weren't running for wins every weekend in a series that was very anemic, what do you think was going to happen when they went Cup racing? Riley showed speed in some of the Cup races at plate tracks. That is not indicative of what he could actually do in a full season, and he's shown that. So my point being is that I would like to see Riley move on. Riley should do off-road racing like his dad did, or like he used to do. There's no shame in carving out a career in off-road racing, desert racing. I mean, to me, that's some of the best racing out there. I've made a similar argument about AJ Allmendinger, that, yes, AJ is really good in NASCAR. He's really good on road courses. Colleague, and no dig at Colleague. Matt Colleague is an awesome dude. Chris Rice, awesome guy. The team, a lot of great people working for him. But the fact remains is that it's not a top-shelf team, and it likely never will be. Okay? So what are you doing, man? Like, AJ has the ability to get in any kind of race car and win in it. He's shown that. And I think he still can. He's not aged out at all. So why toil around in NASCAR with a team that's never going to give you the opportunity to win on a consistent basis, when you could go to sports cars and become a legend? You know what I mean? It's similar with Riley, and also a similar thing with Hailie Deegan. Hailie has proven that she's not good on asphalt, but on dirt, she's amazing. So, like, why not just carve out a career there? Because you can become a legend. You can make a lot of money. Look at Johnny Greaves and his son. I think his son's name's CJ. Both of them legends. They win all the time. And they stay in their lane. They haven't really tried to branch out and do anything else because they know that that's their bread and butter. That's where they're good. So, anyways, back to my original point. I hope it works out for Truex. It'd be nice to see. It really would. The dude's paid his dues, and he's performed under pressure several times. So I'd like to see it. I also just hope that the race Sunday is good, outside of the political stuff that's going on, with Mexico and America. The Gen 7 car has not really produced much on road courses. Someone told me that the Watkins Glen race last year was pretty good. The end of it was. with the race between Shane and Buescher. But then again, that was like really quick and it was over and done with. You know, Chris caught him, bumped him, passed him. That was the end of the race. In my opinion, the build up to that was just kind of, you know, once those cars get single file after 2 laps, I guess after a restart or start on road courses, the same problem that those cars have everywhere else is that aero comes into play and that you can't get close to the guy in front of you. You can't pass unless there's a tire difference. You know, someone has fresher tires than the other car. It just doesn't work. There's a rally going on in Ohio. I saw it on Dirtfish last night. It's in southern Ohio. And it's pretty interesting. And then I found out that Bucky Lasek is competing, which is flipping awesome, man. I don't know. Okay, so when I was a kid, one of the first games I played was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on the PlayStation, PS1, the first Tony Hawk Pro Skater. And I always chose Bucky. And then so from then I started, and this was back when extreme sports were like super popular and were shown on TV all the time. It's not so much the case anymore, but back then it was. And so I was a huge fan of Bucky. I don't know why. I don't know if it was his name or if it was just like his demeanor. His name is cool, let's be real. Bucky Lasek, that's an awesome name. And you know, so he started doing off-road racing, rally racing and stuff several years ago. He's been a part of the X Games when rally was part of the X Games. So he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. He's done rallycross as well. I wouldn't say that he's one of the top flight drivers, but he's pretty good. To go from skating to doing rally, I mean, let's be real, it's badass. And he could probably jump on a skateboard right now and outperform half the kids out there, you know, half his age, and then get in a rally car and still perform. Come on, that's cool. I don't care who you are. That's awesome. And also massive news on the FIA front. Malcolm Wilson. Don't know why I have a hard time saying his name, but Malcolm Wilson, who is the owner of M Sport, used to do rally racing himself before he went into just strictly ownership role, has now been officially confirmed as the deputy vice president of the FIA, which is fantastic, man. You know, you have Ben as the president. Ben used to do rally racing. I can't pronounce his last name, so forgive me, but Ben used to rally, and now you have Malcolm as the deputy vice president. Hey, look, I say we just fill the entire FIA with rally guys. I mean, seriously, what could go wrong with that? And I don't say that tongue-in-cheek. I say that legitimately. These guys are true racers. And so you bring that aspect of your life and your career into this role with the FIA. I think that's a net positive for everyone involved. I don't think, a lot of the controversies, whatever, however you want to say it, that's been going on with the FIA, with how they supposedly treat some of their employees and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that's going to be an issue with Malcolm. I don't think he's going to be treated that way if those reports are true. Okay. Now, like the previous deputy vice president was throwing the FIA under the bus. But the thing is like, how much of that can you believe? I mean, at the end of the day, they come across as just disgruntled employees, ex-employees. And if you have a disgruntled ex-employee, if you stick a microphone in their face, what do you think they're going to say? You think they're going to say something positive about their employer, their previous employer? Probably not. It'd take a lot of character to, even if there were legitimate problems, it would take a lot of character to just hold back and not say anything negative. And a lot of people, especially nowadays, people don't possess that trait. Hey, I've been guilty of it. I've done it just like anybody else. So I'm not saying anything. I'm not bashing anybody for something I haven't done myself. But I'm just saying the fact remains. And so I think that's going to be great. The only thing I'm concerned about is this going to take away from M Sport at all? Is is he going to have too many things to juggle? Not that M Sport's been performing all that great to start with here recently. They're consistently the slowest team in WRC, the top flight WRC1. So I don't know that it would really make a whole lot of difference. But M Sport's still continuing to try to rebuild and get back to to where they can compete with Hyundai and Toyota. Is this going to distract from that? I don't know. Hopefully not. If anybody can juggle it, it's Malcolm. I mean, the man's a legend. He's been in this business for longer than I've been alive. So, if anyone can handle it, it's him. So, anyways, if you enjoy listening to me ramble about motorsports or anything else in particular that I just feel like bringing up and talking about, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, leave a comment, the works. If you're interested, racing memorabilia, t-shirts, hats, diecast cars, auto parts, any of that kind of stuff, check out our eBay. The link will be in the description. Also, as far as the rally goes, I will post a link to Dirtfish's feed from that rally in the description as well, so you can check that out, because it was fun to watch. I don't know that it's over yet. I kind of fell asleep last night when I was watching it, just because it was late. Not that it was boring, because it's not. It's awesome. But check that out. Link will be in the description as well. I appreciate you guys watching. It means a lot. And until next time, we'll see you. Peace.
És 100 fölfele. 100 fölfele, jobb 2 tempó, 20-ra bal 2 tempó, 20-ra bal 2 tempó, 25-re bal 2 szűk, bal 2 szűk, és bal 2, és bal 2, majd 50-re jobb 2, itt a bal 2, és 50-re jobb 2, jobb 2, majd szűk 50-re jobb 3 az aszfaltra. Szűk 50-re jobb 3 az aszfaltra.